Hi betting experts, a 9-race extravaganza on ITV on Saturday, the best of the action from Beverley, where it's 2-year-old trophy day, Goodwood, where they've got some really tough handicaps and some interesting listed action, and at Haydock, the day's main meeting where the Group 2 Temple at 3:30 is the highlight. The ground, well, faster side are good at Beverley and Haydock. They seem to have missed the rain that's been around. It has eased at Goodwood, good with the odd good to soft patch at the time of recording. The weather forecast on Saturday is decidedly mixed, but hopefully the track's missed the worst of it. I'm assuming it's going to be pretty decent ground across the country. We start off with our betting expert daily nap. This goes in the 2:45 at Beverley. It's the 5-furlong 2-year-old trophy, a very valuable prize this. A disappointing turnout, it has to be said, and I think Old is Gold is a very interesting runner for Andrew Balding. He's a scopy colt, he's held in high regard up the pecking order at Kingsclear, and he made a pleasing start in what I thought was a very warm Ascot novice on his debut. If you watch that run back, he paid the price for pressing the heavily supported 11:08 on favourite Military Code hard from halfway, just fading inside the final furlong. I think it was a really good effort. I think he'll sharpen up dramatically for that experience, and the yard, well, they're absolutely flying, Andrew. 12 winners in the last fortnight at nearly 20% strike rate, so his horses are thriving, and Old is Gold is just the sort to progress, and this stiffer test of stamina up the hill at Beverley should suit. Our betting expert value angle selection goes in the 1:30 at Goodwood. It's a 7-furlong handicap, a big field. I think Rare Change is worth sticking with at around 8-1 for Richard Hughes. Now, he's really improved this season for his in-form yard, already winning at Windsor and York, and watch that York run back this morning. I thought he was value for a lot more than the very narrow margin that he ended up winning by. He was cruising with no light at all from halfway and only just extricated himself in time to just hit the front inside the final furlong, winning narrowly. He's got the excellent claim of Warren Fentiman in the saddle again. Obviously, big fields at Goodwood, you need your eyes shut, really. You need luck in running, but they will go a right gallop here, and that will suit Rare Change, who I think will get a mile and probably middle distances in time, but this should set up nicely and he can complete a hat-trick. The remaining 7 races on ITV on Saturday, we'll spin through them in time order, starting at Haydock with a handicap at 1:15. I like the look here of No Retreat, who's making his debut for George Scott. He's had the gelding operation. He'd been running well in Maidan for Arab Yard over the winter months. Previously, he'd been very promising for Roger Varian, so he's on his 3rd trainer and been gelded. This one, he's got top weight to carry, but he's a very interesting runner. Callum Shepherd's been booked for the ride. He's only run 6 times on turf. There should be plenty more to come. Obviously, you'd like to see a bit of market confidence, but he's by far the most interesting runner in this handicap. Sticking at Haydock for the 150, a 1-mile contest here. Well, Afentico is an interesting runner. He comes from a yard I usually swerve Paul and Oliver Cole, but he is one of those 3-year-olds I think he's going to be worth following this summer. He ran 6 times as a juvenile, upwardly mobile profile in some pretty decent races, and he'll love this decent ground. Buick's been booked since declarations. I think that's a signal of intent after 210 days off the track. Over to Beverley, the 2:10, a 5 furlongs fillies condition stakes. I think Saucy Jane might be overpriced here because she comes from a yard nobody's heard of, Jack Morland, his first season training, and this filly I thought shaped really nicely in defeat. Upton class, the listed company at York last time out. There's more to come from her. She only had 3 career starts. I suspect she'll be a much bigger price than she should be, with lots of the top yards represented at the front of the market. Back to Haydock for the 2:25, a very trappy 1-mile 2-furlong listed contest. I thought Ambient Amigo ran better than it looks at York last week, never getting into the race behind that very impressive winner Andrew Balding, See the Fire, who routed the field, but I'm expecting Ambient Amigo to get a much more positive ride here. Proven stamina that this trip a plus, and James Owens absolutely flying. He's had 10 winners across all codes in the last fortnight. Staying at Haydock for the 3 o'clock, the 6-furlong Group 2. An interesting race here. I was torn between 2 here. Big Mojo I very much like, but I think First Instinct perhaps slightly more interesting for William Haggis. I thought this one did really well to win at Cork last time out, travelling up strongly and then doing enough, just dossing around a bit in front. She's a smooth traveller with a sharp turn of foot. Kieran Fallon's been booked. She's open to a bit more improvement than some of these rivals, and at the prices, I think she's around twice the price of Big Mojo. I think she's the one to side with. Oh, back to Goodwood for the 3:15, a listed contest over 1 mile 2 for fillies. Music Piece, again Andrew Balding, flying. I really liked her run at Sandown and her reappearance. It was a muddling small field race. The winner, Tati Coram, got the best ride, and Music Piece was settled in rear and never really landed a blow. It wasn't easy to make ground from off the pace at Sandown that day. She remains with plenty of scope to improve after just 3 career starts. David Probert's been booked. He knows now she'll stay. I'm hoping for a much more positive ride on Music Piece. And finally, the day's feature at Haydock, the 3:30, the 5 furlong Group 2 Temple Stakes. Well, all the usual suspects here. I think the one who could be overpriced is Washington Heights from the Kevin Ryan yard. There's plenty of positives for him. He's shaped really well, probably on the wrong part of the track at Newmarket last time out. He should be cherry ripe. He's had 2 runs. He is quirky. He don't win many. He's usually thereabouts in these sort of races, and there should be a blistering gallop here. So hopefully Tom Eaves can weave his way through late in a fast run race on a flat track that suits him ideally. He must go well, granted luck in running, and he should be a double figure price. Best of luck with all 9 ITV races on Saturday, betting experts.